Okay, moving on to investment. How much is India's investment to Indonesia, if you have the latest figure?
I would venture out to say that in the last 20 years, Indian investment in Indonesia has been nearly $1.5 billion. But this is a very misleading figure, because there is substantially larger amount of investment from India to Indonesia via Singapore. Lot of Indian companies which have a subsidiary in Singapore have invested in Indonesia, and if you take into account that investment, Indian investment to Indonesia comes to nearly $55 billion. We obviously are trying to see as to what are the impediments in having a direct investment from India to Indonesia rather than going through Singapore. And our companies are alive to this situation. There are a number of sectors in which Indian companies have already invested, and there are some sectors in which the Indian companies would like to invest. Traditionally speaking, coal, textile, coal mining and textile and related areas have been the prime target for Indian investment. But now you can see that the focus has been shifting to newer technology, software, medical APIs, the formulations, the chemicals, medical equipment, light medical equipment. These are the areas in which we are focusing from the embassy side. And here I would like to mention to you that very recently we have launched a book which takes care of quite a few things that you have mentioned. The book is named Kasaman, and I would like to show this for your viewers. This is available on the internet in different formats, though we have got this book published. It says Kasaman, which means similarities between India and Indonesia, and it says the next steps. We have taken nearly 19 different sectors for our future investment and future activities, and in which the leaders of business in both countries, India and Indonesia, have contributed and shown as to how things between India and Indonesia are looking positive in terms of investment. Digital technology, I must mention here the new policy of Indonesian government of Industry 4, which is quite in tune with India's own initiative of Make in India. There are a lot of policies which have been opened up for these kind of investments to flow uninterruptedly between India and other countries, and the same applies for Indonesia. I must say that apart from these traditional areas, tourism is something which has a very high potential for Indonesia. India, I think before the pandemic, more than 500,000 people from India used to travel to Indonesia every year. Though the figure from the other side is small, but Indian tourism has a lot of interest in Indonesia, and Indonesian side also obviously is very keen to get back to the tourism sector after the pandemic, or as soon as we recover from the pandemic. So I would once again highlight that there are a number of areas for Indian companies' interest in Indonesia, and I will put some of them as prime targets, including pharmaceutical sector.
Okay, you mentioned about investors are moving towards, a new technology. This is the era of startups, and I know India is the home of startups, but we've also seen the rise of startups, unicorns, decacorns in Indonesia. But what are the sectors that Indian investors are most interested in Indonesia startups?
Once again, I'll go back to digital technologies, software, fintech is another area. There are a lot of companies, unicorn and otherwise, which have a collaboration with India. I'm sure you know about Gojek, which has a lot of software support from Bangalore. And the future also beacons towards that strengthening as well. We are looking for more and more collaboration in fintech and other technology driven initiatives, which is either, for example, pandemic related, how to deal with the pandemic, what to do to make people's life easy dealing with the pandemic and its governmental control and ease of doing business in daily life. I would say that this has the most prominent sector in terms of startup. The other startup which are going to come up after the pandemic, I'm sure people in Indonesia themselves can deal with it, and it does not require any support from outside.
Can we say that this is just the beginning for the relation between the two countries, Indonesia and also India? Are we seeing, there are still a lot of future, a lot of trades, investment going in the future. So we're going stronger together, yeah?
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. This is the beginning. And $50 billion is a big amount as far as bilateral trade between India and Indonesia is concerned.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bharti. It has been a pleasure talking and discussing with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Monica.
Dan demikian wawancara kami CNBC Indonesia Beyond Business.